Steelers have both sides of the field split, so the Titans can't overload one side.
And they kick it straight ahead. It's loose. And the Steelers had a chance. They had a chance, but Tennessee pounces on the football, and that should be the ball game. Number 83.
Boy, not a bad effort, too.
Walt Coleman is our referee today here in Miami.
Offside, 47 on the kicking team. Penalties decline. First down.
47 is Will Dempsey, who's a rookie, so Miami is out there with their quarterback Ray Lucas with the bad back today. Struggling as a starting quarterback and protected by this offensive line of Dixon Nails, Ruddy Perry, and Todd Wade.
This offensive team, Kevin, has got to feed Ricky Williams till he almost passes out.
From the 32-yard line, it's a fake to Williams, who offers a block on Boulware and a pass over the outstretched arms of rookie tight end Randy McMichael. It'll be 2nd and 10. The offensive line of Dixon Nails, Ruddy Perry, and Wade.
That's who sets up the run for Ricky Williams and can protect Ray Lucas.
Williams with Conrad in the backfield. Good-looking rookie Chambers with McKnight and McMichael.
Somehow, Kevin, they've got to find a way to get the ball down the field to Chris Chambers. Down the field is 30 yards plus.
2nd down and 10 from the 32. Fiedler to Ricky Williams. Ray Lewis was in the vicinity after a gain of 5. Initial hit made by Cornell Brown up to the 37-yard line. Now Baltimore's defense, which comes in number 17, Weaver, Gregg, and Thomas. A 34 look, Brown, Hartwell, Ray Lewis, and Peter Boulware. With the secondary, the corners Porter and Baxter, Reed and Demps are the safeties. Very young secondary.
It's a defense. Don't be fooled by the stats. This defense is about results and turnovers. 16 interceptions this year.
From the 37, 3rd down and 5. Dumping out on the flat, caught by Ricky Williams, has to get to the 42, brought down by Ray Lewis, a gain of 2 on the play, and he's short by a handful of yards, and 3 and out for Miami. They've got a punt. Ray Lewis does the job.
And Dave Wanstead just sort of checked out Ray Lewis. Ran that little screen pass there, a little flip out to Ricky to see how that Lewis would handle it, and boy did he handle it well. Might be playing with only really about an arm and a half. But his arm and a half is plenty to bring down the former Texas running back.
One arm tied behind your back, and he's still that good. Mark Broyles will punt. Lamont Brightful is deep back. This one sailing to the side. And Trent Gamble watches it bounce over his head at about the 20-yard line and out of bounds. Now to the Baltimore offense, the number 29th ranked offense in the NFL with this line: Ogden, Hulitalo, Flynn, Anderson, and Brooks.
Watch the left side led by Jonathan Ogden. They are the highlight of, I think, this whole offense.
Lewis and Ricard with Taylor and Hunter as the receivers, and Todd Heap is the good-looking second-year tight end.
As nice as it is to have a Taylor and to have a Heap, Jamal Lewis is back to the form that put this team in a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Here comes Jeff Blake, a former Pro Bowl quarterback with Cincinnati. He's outside the 20, and he's got it 1st down and 10. And Jamal Lewis gets the call. Moreland Greenwood along with the Gonlier make the stop inside. And a gain of about a yard in the play. 2nd down and 9 coming up. Miami's defense is number 10 in the NFL. A 43 look. Gonlier with Bowens, Chester, and Taylor on that front line. Linebackers Rogers, Thomas, and Moreland Greenwood. And the secondary with the corners Certain along with Madison, Marion, and Freeman are the safeties. So Tan is a guy you want to watch today. 2nd down and 9. And Blake outside. Good catch made by Taylor. Hit on the side by Brock Marion and Moreland Greenwood. It's a gain of 6 up to the 28.
Hey, you mentioned Patrick Surtain. I'll tell you another guy to keep a close eye on is going to be Jason Taylor, number 99, the defensive end. He's having such a great year, but he's got all the job he can handle in going against Jonathan Ogden. Ogden is 6'7" or so, about 325 pounds. Got almost zero body fat when you stand next to him. He's a monster. Move Taylor around. Get him on the other side against Brooks, because Ogden will just absolutely absorb him.
Chester Taylor is in the backfield. Third and a long three. Blake being chased by Arturo Freeman and by Jason Taylor, and banged out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage, the 29. And like Baltimore, it's time to punt for them like it was for Miami.
And what they want to do is, if they flush out Blake, they want him to run on the outside, because that's where most of their defenders are going to be coverage-wise. Where Blake can do his most business and be his most dangerous is if he has to run up inside into the middle of the field.
Zastadil will punt with Robert Baker deep back for Miami. And Baker chasing it. And it goes inside the 20-yard line. Marked out of bounds near the 18.
There's a case there of that hidden yardage I like to talk about, Kevin. You know, you were just out on about the 32-yard line last time, and Brian Billick's football team right now just picked up, you know, probably 12, 13, 14 yards in the exchange.
That was a 54-yard punt. Each team has had the ball once. Each team has gone 3 and out. Second possession for quarterback Ray Lucas and Miami at the 18. They got McKnight in motion. And Ricky Williams with a nice block by Todd Wade, hit by Cornell Brown. A flag is down after a gain of 2, and he's out near the 20-yard line. Dolphins have lost 3 straight coming in. Baltimore 4-5 after their 0-2 start. Dave Wannstedt knows the importance of this game. Buffalo has lost. New England plays tonight. And the Jets are playing right now.
Holding 71. Offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still.
Dave Wannstedt also knows if there's one distinct problem to go with the turnovers, it's been the penalties. And you can't say the AFC East isn't wide open. I mean, you've got a great potential here to have a 4-way tie at 5-5 when this day is done. And that doesn't tell you there's a bunch of bad teams per se, but it tells you a bunch of teams that are lacking confidence.
With the penalty back to the 9, 1st and 19. Ricky Williams with a Conrad block, but it produces nothing. Ed Hartwell is out there. He is the leading tackler in the absence of Ray Lewis. And a gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 18. And here is what the AFC North looks like. Baltimore just a game and a half out of first.
The funny thing to me is, you know, Baltimore beginning of the year, all the terms about, you know, it's cap hell and they're rebuilding and it's this and it's that. And Brian Billick has to be smiling. I mean, Art Modell's entire organization, because they definitely are rebuilding. Lots of youth on the defense, huge amounts of youth, but right now they're winning ball games.
That's a game and a half out going into today, and that Tennessee-Pittsburgh game just ended. 2nd down and 18. Lucas outside, caught by Ricky Williams, and brought down with Ray Lewis and Peter Boulware allowing only a gain of 2. So with Pittsburgh's loss and the loss of their quarterback Tommy Maddox, Baltimore is just that much closer now, and a win today would be huge for them.
And having Ray Lewis back on this team, back on the field for this entire defense does huge amounts, because for all the great stories you remember about the Baltimore defense from that Super Bowl year 2 years ago, there's Ray Lewis and there's basically Peter Boulware on the field right now for this football team. Otherwise, it's nothing but a bunch of Utes.
Robert Edwards in the backfield, 3rd down and 16. They dump it off, and Edwards drops the ball at the 9. And so Miami again is 3 and out for a 2nd consecutive time.
And one thing you are not going to do to this Baltimore defense, especially now that Ray Lewis is back, is beat him with cute. You're not going to beat him with change of pace. You're not going to beat him by fooling him. Ray Lewis is a great student of the game, as is, you know, Peter Boulware and other members of this defense. You got to be more physical than Baltimore, stand toe to toe, and slug it out with them.
Royals to punt for a 2nd time. Lamont Brightful is inside the 50, inside Miami territory. A breeze in the face of Royals. Hanging punt. Brightful to the side. He keeps it out of his hands. Brightful Had a punt return touchdown last week, 95 yards against Cincinnati. They want to keep it out of his hands if you're Mark Royals.
Welcome back to Miami. It is scoreless. A couple of notes about Jeff Blake of the Ravens. He's about to take the snap right now, quarterback. First of all, he told us yesterday in our meetings that he saw something where he may run. He may have running opportunities. Look for that. Also, in this situation, he throws the best long ball in the game. Look for it.
Excellent arm, you're right. Second possession. He's at the 49 of Miami after the Dolphins' second consecutive punt. 1st and 10, a block by Lewis. And Blake hit and brought down. Patrick Surtain. That is the second sack.
Well, Baltimore picked up 23 yards in that hidden yardage I'm always talking about in that exchange. But here's the biggest example of the difference between Jeff Blake and the young quarterback Chris Redman. Jeff Blake's going to hold the ball, waiting to see something happen down the field. A young quarterback like Chris Redman, who doesn't really have the experience, he's getting that thing out of there a lot faster.
Second down, 16 at the 45, a loss of 6 on that sack. Blake hit again, and Gurley got it. Flag is thrown. The ball is down at the 35-yard line. And Agunlier is the one to knock it away off the defensive line for Miami. It's a penalty, though, against the Dolphins.
Looked like Blake was chopped right in the face, down, kind of raked down through the face onto the arms there. That's what made him drop that ball.
Randy, talk about the value of field position today for both these teams.
Well, it's huge. You've already seen the exchange and the yards that Baltimore picked up. But if I'm Dave Wanstead right here, I'm absolutely obsessed with the fact that I'm getting these penalties.
Personal foul, hit to the quarter on the defense. 15 yards, first down.
Penalties have killed the Dolphins all season long. And you can see the frustration in Wanstead.
Yeah, that next 15 yards is gonna hurt you too, Dave, if you don't get off the field, and rightfully so. You downs by penalty. There's Jonathan Ogden working against Taylor. Watch the blow to Blake's head right there. That's just it's an incidental thing. The left hand into the side of the head, drops the ball. Anytime a ref sees that head hit, though, he's going to throw that flag.
1st and 10 handoff. And Lewis takes it by midfield to the Miami 46. It is a gain of 2, and he's a little bit slow to get up off the pile. And Larry Chester and Zach Thomas among the Miami defenders to stop him.
Yeah, sort of like when you talk about Ricky Williams, try to wear him out. Brian Billick, though, as many shots as he likes to take down the field, I'd like to see him do the same thing with this guy, Jamal Lewis. Just pound it. Make this a short game.
Second down long, 6 inside the 42nd. Moreland Greenwood is all over the running back, Jamal Lewis, with no room to roam. A loss of 2 on the play. He got out there in a hurry.
And this is an excellent example of getting great field position, getting those extra 23 yards in that hidden yardage and not taking advantage of it right now because you're running this way. You're going this way. That's not your strength. Your strength is running left. If you're Baltimore, run left behind Ogden and Mulatalo.
Rookie Chester Taylor is in the backfield, back to the 48. 3rd down and 8 for Baltimore. Blake moves up, throws, and it's dropped. It was intended for Taylor inside the 40 as Blake loops the ball over the oncoming defensive lineman Jay Williams, number 91.
Well, Blake does an excellent job of moving up. The offensive line buys him some extra time. These are the plays you just flat have to make. I mean, there's no excuse. Taylor's got that ball in his hands. You have got to catch those balls.
Zestadil to punt for a second time. His first one sailed 24 yards. And Dietrich Ward is deep back for Miami. James Trapp around the ball. And they'll down it at about the 12-yard line. 37-yard punt. And a timeout in Miami.
Stepping out with my baby, can't go wrong, 'cause I'm in right. It's for sure, not for maybe.
The GMC Envoy has a hydroform steel frame. So if you're rattled, it's not us.
Oh, that was easy.
Quite so sunny, and I keep on knocking wood.
What have you been up to, Mr. Moneybags?
It's okay. I put it on the credit card.
Those interest charges are gonna get us.
Don't worry. It's our new Capital One No Hassle card.
The Capital One No Hassle card has the nation's lowest long-term fixed rates, $0 fraud liability, and no telemarketing.
What's in your wallet?
Can I ask you one more question? Shoot. I've been following you guys for a while, and I know the business is really cutthroat. So what is it that separates you guys from all the other bands?
I'd say our lyrics.
Yeah, it's the lyrics.
Yeah, we're all about the words.
Oh, that's good.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37. Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisping and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And by GMC, we are professional grade.
Upcoming is the third Miami possession, 2 consecutive 3-and-outs. They're at their 12, where they've got it first down and 10. Ray Lucas for the injured Jay Fiedler. The handoff to Ricky Williams. And submarines out to about the 16-yard line. You're impressed very much with the rookie tight end, but the Ravens defense has been interesting so far.
Well, it's been all about Ricky Williams. You know, Miami's trying to pound him. They're trying to get him the ball, but it's been Ray Lewis in one direction, Ed Hartwell in the other, and then all of the defensive team were converging on Ricky. So there's no real mystery to what they're trying to do. They're trying to feed Ricky, and Baltimore's stuffing him.
Second down and 6 at the 16. Lucas, and deep down the middle he got Randy McMichael. Look at him rumble inside the 40-yard line. A 45-yard gain, a good strike by Lucas, and McMichael is a kid, as I was about to say before, a kid you really admire.
I really do. I love what this young kid can do because he's so fast. I think he's a student of the game, but more importantly, this is a tough football player. He had a bone sticking out of his finger, has him just tape it back up, plays the rest of the half in Green Bay. He has a torn plantar fascia. The bottom of his foot is torn. He's wearing an orthotic, and he can run like that. Amazing.
39-yard line, first down and 10. Career-long 45-yard gain. Ricky Williams around it. Jamie Nails' block is tripped up and taken down. Peter Boulware was out there. It's a gain of about 7 yards to the 32.
Watch the crease that opens up on the left side of this defense. You get a hook on Will Demps by Jamie Nails. That opens the whole thing up. It's a nice job of coming in and getting Ricky off his feet, because if you hit him high, he's going to slough you off.
Gary Baxter with the hit, second down and 3 at the 32. Lucas fires it again to the side. That's Chris Chambers, a second-year receiver out of Wisconsin. And he takes the ball to the 11-yard line, a gain of 18 yards.
Well, right offhand, Kevin, would you have any questions right about now as to the value of a good young tight end? The value of having an offensive coordinator like Norv Turner upstairs who can make the big plays? And Ray Lucas started out so miserably in his first game, did all right in his second game, a little better in the next game, and he's a work in progress. He's never going to be a great quarterback. He just needs to be efficient.
It is a first down. Miami at the Baltimore 14. End around. Great hurdling move. Not a whole lot of room for James McKnight, a gain of 2. They'll bring up second down and 8 on the stop, Ed Hartwell.
This defense was fooled on that reverse. They were dead fooled, and they were out of this play. Watch the defense react this way, but watch the fill not only there, but also here by Ed Reed. Watch Ed Reed make up for this, everybody being fooled. How do you make up? You aggressively come up the field and force the runner.
2nd down and 8 at the 12. Ricky Williams. Tackled by Ray Lewis inside the 5. It's a gain of 7. Kimo Miatu was there with a stop.
Ricky got a face full of Ravens there. I mean, they're feeding Ricky. They're taking advantage of Ricky, but Ray Lewis gets initially blocked, spins out of the block, and just does an excellent job of fighting right through Ricky Williams, but he does get in his face.
Now 3rd down and 1 inside the 5.
That's a great example of young defensive players out there. Just because you get blocked doesn't mean you have to stay.
And Lucas takes it himself on the quarterback sneak and picks up the 1st down. Bulware on top of the pile. 1st and goal, Miami. On a drive that began back at the Miami 12-yard line.
If you're sitting at home and you're saying, man, this crowd in Miami sounds a little quiet. I don't think they're quiet as much as they're kind of skeptical. They're taking very much a show-me stance right here in Miami. They want to see what Ray Lucas can do. Can you lead our team right now to a touchdown?
Dion Dyer has come back in the game. And a great spin move by Ricky Williams. A 2-yard touchdown run. And he faked out Ed Reed, who is in the backfield, ready to make the tackle. He faked Ed Reed right out of his shoes.
Ed Reed will come from the left side of your screen. He'll be the blur. He was on the reverse. Ricky Williams takes advantage of an aggressive rookie move and gives him a little veteran Heisman spin.
7th touchdown run this season for Ricky Williams. Lindomate's extra point is in. That is Miami's 2nd rushing touchdowns in a little more than 4 games. They needed that in a big way. Ricky Williams with the 2-yard touchdown run. Randy McMichael, 34-yard reception on that drive was key. And the kickoff by Lindomate. And Brightful at the 11-yard line for Baltimore. Nice block by Jones. And Brightful with a 17-yard return.
Let's see what Baltimore can do with the ball so far. 8 plays, -7 yards.
Wow. Baltimore began their last drive inside Miami territory. This time they start at their own 28, 1st down and 10.
Hey, if you're Miami, you think this Baltimore team's going to flinch when you start well, you better find another team. This young team does not flinch.
Hand off Jamal Lewis. It's a block to the tight end Jones. Moreland Greenwood wrestles him down at the 36-yard line. A hard-earned gain of 8 yards. Let's go to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, Kevin, the Lions have won 3 straight home games. Early in this one, Harrington intercepted in the end zone. At the other end, it's Pennington to Moss to give the Jets a 7-0 first quarter lead. Let's go back to Kevin and Randy.
Thank you, Jim. Moss has been hot of late, whether returning punts or catching touchdowns. 4 and 5, the Jets come into this afternoon. 2nd down and 2 from the 36. Lewis again with a little dance step. He's drilled by an avalanche of Miami players. Ball jarred free, but they mark it down at the 39, which should be good for a 1st down. Yeah, you have admired this week in getting prepped for the Baltimore Ravens, their resiliency for being such a young team.
Right, and it's funny because Brian Billick says, well, he says a lot. You know, you ask him one question, he'll talk to you for about 5 minutes. But, you know, one thing I found interesting, he kind of had a funny look on his face, and he went, you know, maybe they just don't know. You know, they just don't know they're not supposed to be this resilient, but somehow they are.
39-yard line, 1st and 10. And Ricard, the fullback, bulldozing up the middle for 6 yards. Just his 5th carry of the season. He's a 2nd-year player out of Northeast Louisiana. So the teaching, I am assuming, that these coaches on this Ravens staff are doing is having a pretty positive effect on this young team.
Well, especially on the defense. You know, I happen to be of the opinion that the best teaching jobs in the league being done right now, maybe with the Baltimore Ravens and the Green Bay Packers. Packers have had the injuries, and somehow they've played so well. Baltimore's been unbelievable.
Second down, 4 from the 45. Lewis grabbed by Jermaine Haley and brought down after a gain of a yard up at the 46. Yeah, the coordinators, Matt Cavanaugh on the offensive side for Baltimore. Mike Nolan, who's taking the place of Marvin Lewis, is the defensive coordinator for the Ravens.
You look at their defense, though, and they've had a lot of chances to feel sorry for themselves. But when you got an offense and Jamal Lewis running the ball the way he is, you've got a veteran now leading this offense in Jeff Blake. I can't see how you can feel anything but confidence going into any game.
It's 3rd and 3 from the 46 with an empty backfield. Blake fires outside and dropped by the third-year receiver Travis Taylor. That's the second time he's dropped one today.
And both of these drops have come at a really bad time. He's been hit both in the hands. 3rd down, both clearly first downs. If he'd have caught that, we'd have given 4 catches because he had 5 tries at it.
And that's been Blake's favorite receiver.
Well, he's got a real thing going. And you know what he says? They're rotating away from my tight end, so I've got to go to my wide receiver. Heaps that good a weapon.
Another punt. Zastudil will punt once again. So Baltimore 3 and out the first couple possessions. And this goes over Dedrick Ward's head and bounces into the end zone for the touchback on a 54-yard move. Ricky Williams, a 2-yard touchdown run. The Dolphins by 7.
There's a light in your soul. It says you're one of a kind. Don't never let it go. Be original, an individual. Like Dr. Pepper. Be you, do what you do. Dr. Pepper. Be you, do what you do. There's nothing better. Be you, do what you
Something's coming over me. My baby's got a secret.
When you need a cup, pour some sugar on it.
Shook up ramen?
Yeah, soup.
Freeze. A call to the library could help her out. Good thing T-Mobile lets her call whenever she wants. Go.
Says here, pour some sugar on me. I'm hot, sticky, sweet.
The most one-ever minutes, free long distance and roaming. Only from T-Mobile.
Get more.
Trip to the city of your choice. Free.
Want the city? How romantic.
Bringing along your friends.
I changed my mind. I changed my mind.
Priceless. Win a getaway in MasterCard's Priceless Memories Sweepstakes.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you. Nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. And by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service.
One of the headlines coming into today, the return of Ray Lewis to the Baltimore defense. How's he look the first couple Miami series on offense?
Well, it's not lacking for enthusiasm and running around, but I think Ray Lucas has shown a vision that he hasn't showed in the first 3 games. He's seen the field much better today.
20-yard line, 1st and 10. A fake to Williams, and Lucas fires outside, incomplete. So we got a good matchup with Ray Lewis against Ray Lucas.
And as much grief as Ray Lucas has taken so far in the last month or so, and you know, rightfully so, he played miserably initially at quarterback for this football team. I think the main difference between he and Jay Fiedler is Fiedler just sees the play differently. They're not different plays. It's just it's processed differently.
Second down and 10. Hand off to Ricky Williams. Ray Lewis is there, bad shoulder and all, wearing that harness, and he gives up a gain of 4 up to the 24-yard line. There's that thing around his bicep, which is keeping his elbow, arm, and shoulder supposedly intact.
Yeah, right about now, though, you'd have a hard time convincing any of those offensive linemen and Ricky Williams that this guy is very hurt. He's doing a nice job of running to the ball, but you know they're taking advantage, I think, of the aggressiveness of the Baltimore defense, and B, they're taking advantage of the youth of the Baltimore defense. That big play to McMichael was pure aggressiveness taken advantage of.
Only one score in that first quarter, a 2-yard touchdown run by Ricky Williams. 7-0, the first place Dolphins. Coming up in the next show, halftime report. Join Jim, Dion, Dan, and Boomer. They'll have an update on the condition of Pittsburgh quarterback Tommy Maddox. Took a wicked hit in that game with Tennessee today. That's all coming up on the next halftime report from New York. We begin the second quarter. Dolphins on top 7-0. Williams a touchdown run. And Ray Lucas facing third down and a long 5 from his own 25. What would be a good play here?
I'd have to find a way to get the ball to that young tight end, Randy McMichael.
Look, bro, look, bro.
He's already caught one today for 45 yards. Lucas, who's got to get to the 30. Loose ball on the play. Riddick Parker had his foot around it. Did they mark Lucas down as he was scrambling? I believe they did, but Miami's got a punt nonetheless.
Well, their receivers open down the field, but Baltimore, what I just talked about, their aggressiveness, it's exactly what they took advantage of there, was that aggressiveness, and the aggressiveness paid off getting after Ray Lucas. That would not have been a fumble, though. That knee was down.
That's the third 3-and-out for Miami, so both offenses have been staggering to begin this game. Lamont Brightful is back at about the 25-yard line, a 6th-round pick out of Eastern Washington. Mark Royals, the veteran, gets it high and lofts it to Brightful at the 27. Oh, what a stick! Scott Callion came in there and just drilled Brightful. That was an NFL smack. A 10-yard return after a 46-yard boot. You not only heard it up here, you felt it up here. And a flag and a penalty against Miami.
You liked that, didn't you?
Oh, when you hear those.
An eligible downfield prior to the kick. Number 28 of the kicking team. Penalties decline. First down.
Plus, it was a legal hit, and I think anytime you get a big hit, which is legal, it's something to take note of.
Gene Washington back in New York loves those kind of hits. No fines there. This is what an NFL hit sounds like. That is your full body, Mr. Gallion, on his full body.
He rejoined the team week 2, did Scott Gallion, after Miami had terminated his contract in early September from the 38 Baltimore. 4th possession, 3 previous punts. 1st and 10. Blake down the sideline, and a 3rd drop today for Travis Taylor, who has been brilliant the last 4 weeks, but today is struggling, covered by Sam Madison.
With your receiver struggling a little bit like Taylor obviously is, because watch the ball come down where he can catch it. I mean, Madison makes a decent play, but Taylor once again has got to be able to find a way to hold on to that ball. You're in a struggling offense to start with. My next question is, where is the tight end Todd Heap?
At the 38, 2nd down and 10. Flag is thrown, and the whistles blow the play dead. I got to ask you, and watching Heap this week on tape, is he a tight end or is he a receiver?
False start, 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, take it down.
That's the right tackle. He plays like a receiver, although he's called a tight end.
You live in Kansas City. I shouldn't have to explain this to you. Words Tony Gonzalez come to mind.
Yes.
That's how people want to use these young tight ends, you know, much like Shannon Sharp for years and years. That's how people use them. And what happens is defenses are aware of that. That's why Taylor's seen so many balls, is they're rotating to Heath, and Taylor's been open, but he's not catching them.
Chester Taylor in the backfield, 2nd down, 15 from the 33. Taylor. He got away from Burnett, and he is wrapped up and brought down by Zach Thomas after a gain of 3.
And there's so far not really a whole lot of mystery to Baltimore. It's been the running back and the running game, and with that rotation to the tight end Heap, it's been, you know, pretty much Taylor. 4 passes, all to Taylor, and Brian Billick and his quarterback have got to find a way to get the ball to somebody else, because Taylor isn't doing it today.
3rd down and 12 outside the 35. Lewis in the backfield. They dump it off to the tight end, Terry Jones, a rookie out of Alabama. And even though he lost his hat, Surtain makes the stop after a gain of 7, and Baltimore's got a punt for a 4th consecutive possession.
But this goes back to the resiliency factor. A lot of teams, especially veteran teams, when you get stopped like this, you get very frustrated. You don't sense much frustration out of Baltimore yet.
Zastadil to punt, and Robert Baker is back inside the 20 for the Dolphins. Baker at the 10. Oh, great block by Arturo Freeman. And the tackle was eventually made by the guy that centered the ball, Maise. 17-yard return. We've got a timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Coors Original, real golden beer. Official sponsor of Guys Night Out. MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by IBM, taking business to the next level with e-business on demand.
It is windy. It's a good day to be flying a kite, or have a kite fly you in the case of those pictures right there.
That's why you sit on the surfboard when you do that, just in case you get a free ride.
From the 27, 1st and 10 for Ray Lucas, who gives off to Ricky Williams, cracked by Ed Reed. Lewis jumps on the fray, a gain of about 3 or 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it 7. The numbers on Ricky Williams the last 4 is compared to the first 5 games.
It's really no secret anymore, especially without Jay Fiedler, what you do when you attack Miami. And those numbers falling in those last 4 games are directly related to Ray Lucas being a quarterback and defenses not having respect for him.
Lucas throwing today 4 of 7. It is 2nd down, long 6, handoff Ricky Williams. Nice block by Conrad and also by Todd Perry. Finally, Kelly Gregg brings him down close to a 1st down, a gain of about 4 yards. How important today in particular is the Miami offensive line?
Well, very important, and normally very, very good. You don't have to look further for probably the biggest Mutt and Jeff example in the NFL. Look at left tackle Mark Dixon right there. Number 63 next to Jamie Nails. But look at those 2 bodies. Who do you think should be the tackle? The great big Nails or the shorter Dixon? What's up?
3rd down and 1 from the 36. Blocked by Ricky Williams. Time for Lucas. Fires the pass incomplete. They had Cornell Brown on Rob Conrad, who is pleading his case across the way. No yellows on the field. Incomplete.
And Will Demps right there was the one pressuring Ray Lucas.
And the 4th 3-and-out for Miami. Log on to NFL.com. Help pick the NFL's all-star lineup. Cast your vote for the 2003 Pro Bowl squads at NFL.com or on AOL, keyword NFL.com.
Dave Wanstad's about to blow a gasket on the sideline. He's going berserk.
Royals to punt. Ed Reed almost blocked that punt. Brightful back at the 20. Gets by David Bowens. Has some blocking. Ed Reed blocks the punter. So Ed Reed almost blocks the punt. Ed Reed throws a crucial block, and Brightful takes the ball to the Miami 36, a 43-yard return.
Kevin, you know what I forgot to mention about how resilient this football team is? They also have some pretty fast guys. Yeah. And look at Brightful. He makes a little lateral move, and then whack, he goes up the field. There's Ed Reed getting Mark Royals, like you pointed out. What a nice job of hustle. That's part of resiliency. Part of Ed Reed's resiliency. Last week, he hot dogs it, gets the ball swatted away. What's he do later on? Makes a critical interception. That's being resilient. You don't get the punt block, you come back and make a big block. That's being resilient.
2nd time today, Baltimore has started Miami territory. On the 37, delayed handoff, Jamal Lewis, and brought down Larry Chester. Zach Thomas fall on him after a gain of 4, down to the 34-yard line.
You know, having played offensive line in this league, Kevin, it's hard not to really like the left side of this offensive line that plays for the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, Mulatalo and Jonathan Ogden, when you see the plays start to the right, they start right because they know the left side's going to get mashed.
Second down, long 6. Lewis again hit by Greenwood and Freeman and brought down near the 27-yard line and close to a first down.
And what better example? Check out the blocks right here. Mulatalo and Jonathan Ogden. Mulatalo working against Haley. Good body, he and Mike Flynn. You get a turnout block. Tim Bowens is being blocked backside. That's the kind of body surface and maintaining your blocks that this offensive line can do. And now they're moving Ogden to an odd and an unbalanced right.
Third down, 27-yard line. The pitch out to Lewis. And tries to dig his way. It'll be very close on the spot. And it appears as though he was lucky to get back to the 28-yard line, and that is it. Miami read that very, very well.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about the unbalanced. And what do they do with the unbalanced? You've got all that beef on the right side. Look at Jonathan Ogden right there, lined up as tight end. What do? They go this way, away from the beef. Where's the beef? The beef's on the other side. Right about now, Jamal Lewis is saying, what's up? Where's the purple? I'm used to running behind a lot more of my color instead of into their white jerseys.
Where does John Ogden fit in among the elite left tackles in the NFL?
You mean the others?
Yes.
Because there's Jonathan, then there's the others. Jonathan Ogden is clearly the best left tackle in this business. He's paid like the best in the business, and he certainly is. But Baltimore, 0 for 5 on third downs right now.
Do you go for it, or do you try for 3?
I think right now you go for it with this offensive line and Jamal Lewis. Remember I said about resiliency? Brian Billick knows his team's resilient, but he also knows his offensive line is very powerful. This is strength versus strength. Miami's strength is inside on the defense with that triangle with Bowens, Haley, and Zach Thomas.
You don't think they're going to use the inverted wishbone they used last week. Fourth down and 1. Ricard and Lewis in the backfield. The fake. And Blake looks downfield. Going for a wide receiver, Travis Taylor. After 3 drops, he holds on to the most important pass to him today. And Baltimore pulls an outstanding play out of their pocket on fourth down and 1.
I mean, do you like this football team or what, folks? You have to like what they do. They give you the fake onside kick. They hang in there. They don't get down. And on 4th and inches, you throw a pass to a guy that's already dropped 3. That takes lots of guts.
Stover's extra point will tie the game. A 28-yard touchdown pass to Travis Taylor, who's from the state of Florida, played for the Gators and is from Jacksonville. A little bit earlier in this broadcast, I asked you the importance of the Baltimore coordinators. You talked about Matt Cavanaugh.
And Matt Cavanaugh, former team at San Francisco, backed up Joe Montana. You want to talk about digging down deep and having some true guts calling a play. He and Brian Billick pulled one from down deep for that touchdown to Travis Taylor.
On 4th and 1, Stover's line drive kickoff ricochets off the tight end. Weaver is picked up by Rob Conrad, who weaves his way near the 40 on a 19-yard return. Jed Weaver didn't know it hit him.
Now here's what happened. Here's Sam Madison. Here's Travis Taylor. Watch what these two guys do. Watch Madison bite on the inside action. He thinks it's a handoff. Now you need the Roadrunner sound effects. Meet me. See ya. I'm gone. Travis Taylor missed a few, but caught the important one.
And on 4th and 1, well, just absolutely terrific. 1st and 10 from the 39. Ray Lucas fires a pass to the sideline, which is hauled in by receiver Chris Chambers. He is to the Baltimore 46 on a gain of 15, working on Baxter.
You know, if you had to say one thing that bringing Chris Carter here has really emphasized, I think, for this football team, it's things like this for Chris Chambers. Look at the way this guy catches the ball around the perimeters. See him drag his feet, bring in the ball. I mean, that's something. Chris Carter is better than anyone has ever been in this game at catching the ball around the perimeters, and a lot of that seems to have rubbed off on the young receiver Chambers.
46 of Baltimore, 1st and 10 for Miami. Play action by Lucas. Again, downfield he goes to the tight end, Jed Weaver. And Weaver diving to the 21-yard line, a 25-yard pickup, and Lucas looks very sharp going downfield continually today.
And one thing we've seen from both offenses today are the other tight end. You go into the game, you're not worried about Jed Weaver down the field hurting you. You're worried about Randy McMichael. And Ray Lucas puts Randy McMichael on the other side of the field, runs him up the field, runs the receivers up the field, and drags from the far side his tight end underneath.
That's the 2nd reception of the season for Weaver. It is a 1st down at the 21. The sprinting Lucas, Ricky Williams. Ed Reed with the tackle. Slips him out of bounds near the 15-yard line. They'll spot him inside the 14 with a gain of 7.
Now this is good planning. It's Ricky Williams starting right here. And what he does, they just want to bring him right out of the backfield with Ray Lucas coming under. Look at this game planning. You're taking advantage of things you've seen before from this defense, and you're creating one-on-one matchups for Ricky Williams.
2nd down, 3 inside the 14-yard line for Miami. Ricky Williams, flag is thrown. You know, I was going to come into the series saying, has Miami scaled back their offense for Ray Lucas with Jay Fiedler out? That's been anything but the case today.
I really, like I said, I think he's seeing more of the field. Ray Lucas has suddenly, he's got 20/20 vision where it was 20/50 the last couple of weeks.
Offside, 58, defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's Peter Bowler, offsides for Coach Brian Billick.
And I know Dave Wannstedt's happy that finally somebody else gets a penalty, but Jay Fiedler standing there with that brace on that right thumb. They've taken off the cast. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. They project around maybe the 8th of December or so. But Ray Lucas today has played much like Jay Fiedler played before he got injured. The one difference I noticed in this offense is the down the field throws you don't see. But Ray Lucas is 7 of 11 so far today.
1st and goal from the 8. Ricky Williams with a touchdown run already today. Runs into the arms of Kelly Gregg after a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and goal. It was interesting, some of the Jets who played Miami last week, where Lucas used to play himself, said he's too emotional. He has to learn how to control that very fiery emotion and passion that he has.
Well, I think one of the easier ways to control your emotions is to give the ball there to Ricky Williams. Yeah, that'll take a lot of the fire out of you if you're turning around, handing it off, not having to worry about reading the defense.
2nd and goal at the 5. Williams in the backfield. And Ricky gets the call. Nice block ahead by Todd Perry and center Tim Ruddy. And Williams carves his way near the goal line on a gain of 4.
You know how the bar on a face mask, that's about as far away as this run gets from the goal line, it seems. He talked about Ray Lucas's enthusiasm. How about Ray Lewis coming up and smacking Ricky Williams right there, and Ricky Williams in that pile just keeps on moving. Good mush up in the inside by Nails, Ruddy, and Perry.
It's 3rd and goal from the 1. Lucas, touchdown.
Well, Brian Billick's guys don't have a market on resiliency. Watch Ray Lucas just follow Jamie Nails, his left guard, and Tim Ruddy, his center. When you've only got to go a foot and you got 700 pounds or so in front of you, you can probably work that out.
A pretty big swamp. That line can cut. Monte's extra point. 2nd running touchdown this season by Ray Lucas, who looks comfortable and under control today. And the Dolphins reclaim the lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by MGM's Die Another Day, starring Pierce Brosnan, and by Guinness Draft Stout, enjoyed responsibly the world over.
Good Lucas drive, orchestrating a 3-of-3 passing display using 3 different receivers, and the Miami quarterback runs it in himself from a yard away. Dolphins back on top. Lamont Rifle inside the 5 for the Baltimore Ravens. Good block by Thomas. Olindo Mare trips him up near the 40-yard line. Adalis Thomas, and that is his name now. He has changed it to Adalis. Made the block, and Brightful got a 34-yard return for the Ravens.
Yeah, Kevin, we talked about the struggles of Travis Taylor. When at first you don't succeed, and then you don't succeed, and, well, you don't succeed.
3 was not a charm.
If he's your best receiver, you go there again. He's not only the best receiver right now, he's their best option. That's why you keep going back to him.
Baltimore has it, 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Travis Taylor out of the University of Florida, 7-yard pickup. Brock Marion on the coverage up to the 45-yard line.
You know, we keep talking about what's happening to Todd Heap, the young tight end. Todd Heap lines up right here, okay? Check out the defense, the linebacker and the safety, and the way they bracket him and take him away. How are you going to throw the ball to that tight end? That's why everything's going to the other side of the field.
Couple tight ends in the game now. 2nd down, 3 from the 45. It's Lewis. Stood up and brought down. Agunlier was in the middle of that pile and plugs up the middle. Close to a 1st down. Get NFL breaking news, exclusive analysis, and team power rankings on CBSSportsline.com or on AOL. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Is Jamal Lewis, in your opinion, all the way back, 100%?
Well, from the way you look at him, the way he's been running, yeah. You talk to him, and it's a typical high-quality, not only person but athlete who says, you know, I'm not all the way back yet. I don't know if it's going to take an 80-yard run where he outruns the defense for him to think in his own mind he's back, but you know, he's back to being the weapon that Brian Billett can rely on. I know that for certain.
He comes into this afternoon, the number 7 rusher in the National Football League, and they've got a 1st down. 3 years out of Tennessee, just passed Priest Holmes last week as the all-time leading Baltimore Raven rusher.
You know, honestly, he's the kind of guy in this situation, 2nd quarter, 5 minutes to go. You're down by a touchdown. You have that resiliency. Pound him.
Near the 48, 1st and 10. Ricard in the backfield with Lewis. He gets the handoff. And a stop there by Derek Rogers. No gain on the play. Rogers came streaming through. And a former defensive rookie of the year, in fact, took off Terry Jones's helmet along with Jason Taylor.
How about Jason Taylor?
Okay, one of the matchups you were going to watch today was Taylor against Ogden.
Oh, I tell you, I keep saying about them, they're going to move him around. They haven't moved Jason around a whole bunch. And you know, you can see how smart Jason Taylor is. See, there's Jason Taylor right now. He got away with one there. And the league may talk to him about that next week.
48-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Blake with the pocket crumbling. Larry Chester around his ankle. And the 4th sack today on Baltimore quarterback Jeff Blake, and for Chester, his 2nd of the season.
And you notice where you're getting Jason Taylor from. You're getting Jason Taylor from the left side of the defense. But what really gets this play going is the pocket collapses from the inside with Chester pushing the pocket back into Blake's face.
3rd and 10, 48-yard line. 0 of 5 today on 3rd downs. Blake, here comes Taylor. And the pass incomplete. Blake just got it away. Was he in the grass? It didn't matter. They got a punt nonetheless.
Yeah, why not put Jason Taylor down against Ethan Brooks? That way you avoid having him go against Jonathan Ogden. He's made 2 big plays in this drive, going from that left side of the defense, the right side of the Baltimore Ravens, and getting the heck away from Jonathan Ogden.
Zastudil, the rookie punter, will send it to Dedrick Ward inside the 15-yard line. Beauty. Absolutely perfect. Oh, and a great bounce. And down by James Trapp. There is a flag at the 43-yard line. On the other side of the 50. 43-yard punt as it stands right now. And this is on Baltimore. Wiping away what was a great punt.
Holding, number 90 of the kicking team. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Look at Brian Billick, who has had to tangle with some incredibly difficult cap situations. I think they've handled it well.
Yeah, like we said, I mean, it's really brought out, I think, the teacher in Brian and his coordinators. We talked about Kavanaugh and Mike Nolan. His entire football staff has done a wonderful job of teaching. And that's why in these circumstances, when you have a Cornell Brown make the mistake like that, it puts the whole defense waiting on the sideline, maybe in a bigger hole. You just had a wonderful punt inside the 10-yard line. The defense was fired up about that. Now your punter's kicking from about the 27-yard line by the time he 2-steps it.
Zastudil will go back. The wind is in his face, and Dedrick Ward for Miami is back inside his 20. Brock Marion providing the rush. This not nearly as good. Some hidden yards right here I see we're going to talk about as they down it at the 33. All right, it was the 10. That was a 29-yard punt. Now at the 33. All right, which road environment in our NFL.com poll is the toughest for NFL teams to visit?
Well, first I'd like to point out the tundra no longer freezes at Lambeau Field.
Right, they have heaters underneath the field.
For me, I think the toughest place to play is Denver, which made what the Oakland Raiders did last Monday night even more remarkable, to go into that stadium with that crowd and do what they did 34-10. But you've got a 24-yard difference there. 24 yards of that hidden yardage we talk about.
Good point, 33-yard line. And the twirling Lucas gets it out to Ricky Williams. A block by Perry, a block by Ruddy. And he's up to the 41, picking up about 8 yards on the play as Adalius Thomas made an interception last week against Cincinnati, returned it for a touchdown. Makes the stop. It was Adalius last week. It's Adalius.
Well, you score a touchdown, your name changes. But that was a great job right there of rushing the quarterback and then peeling back and getting Ricky Williams, as he'd have had another 5 yards at least.
Second down, 2 from the 41. Pitch out to Williams. A block by Conrad. A good one it is. And the tackle made by Boulware after a gain of a couple and a first down to the 44.
You know, I really like what this offensive line is doing. Remember I said earlier about being extremely physical, and if you're going to be physical as an O-line, it's also nice to have a fullback like Rob Conrad back there to nail people. Between he and Deion Dyer, Ricky Williams has nothing to complain about lead block wise.
Nor is Jamal Lewis with Gash and Ricard. 44-yard line, a fake to Williams. 1st and 10. Here comes Lucas. He gets away from Thomas. Chased by Weaver and finally brought down by Bernardo Harris. A gain of about a yard, maybe a yard and a half for the scrambling Lucas. We've reached the 2-minute warning. It's Miami on top by 7. Couple rushing touchdowns for Miami on top. Kevin Harlan alongside Randy Cross. A lot of things going on in this game.
Well, it's been what we really expected. It's field position, it's hidden yards. Games like this turn on penalties and late scores, like in this situation right here at the end of the first half. Don't forget those points when it comes late in the game.
Baltimore with their linebacker Ray Lucas being looked at on the sideline, and that was a concern of Brian Billick's coming into this game.
Well, Ray Lewis, it was a matter of, you know, is he going to pull a muscle? Will he get cramps? It wasn't whether or not he's going to run around and hit people. He's done plenty of that.
2-minute warning, 2nd down, 8. Miami outside their 45. Ray Lucas. And it's caught nicely by James McKnight. Finally brought down by Ed Hartwell. Gain of 12. A Miami first down to the 42. Dolphins have 3 timeouts. Baltimore with 3 timeouts. And coming up on the next Till Halftime Report, Jim, Dion, Dan, and Boomer will have updates on the condition of Pittsburgh quarterback Tommy Maddox. And they'll also update Donovan McNabb's fractured ankle in the game today against Arizona. Next Till Halftime. Next from New York outside the 42. 1st and 10. Lucas guns a pass, caught by the tight end Randy McMichael, brought down by Ray Lewis. It's a gain of 5 to about the 36.
You're just talking about the next Till Halftime Report. I want to hear what Dan Marino has to say about Ray Lucas, because this is Lucas's best ball game as a quarterback for the Dolphins.
We're in Miami, and
go ahead, say it.
There's a moon.
Yeah.
Over the stadium. Over Miami.
Right. Very good. I didn't think you could resist that.
Well, you're egging me on. Second down and 5. 37-yard line.
Ray Lucas, 10 of 14, Kevin.
Miami's got 2 timeouts. Lucas will take it himself. Has got to get to the 32 and is spun down by Bulware at the 34, and gain of 3.
And you really got to like the decisions Ray Lucas is making. For all the, the bad decisions in that first game when he came back, and he played a pretty solid game last week against the New York Jets, but just didn't make the big plays. Today, Dave Wanstead is watching his backup quarterback make the big plays, and today be the difference for this offense.
3rd down and 2 at the 34. Lucas on the quarterback sneak. Tries to climb his way to the 32 where he had to get. He seems to think he's got a first down. And so does Walt Coleman.
Well, he cozied right up to that wall of backsides we talked about earlier with Tim Ruddy and Jamie Nails and Todd Perry. Looked like a movie screen, all that white stuff in front of him.
They're going to bring the chains on to see if Lucas on that quarterback sneak picked up the Miami first down as the Dolphins. He did.
Are you kidding? Yeah, we talked about it. You're a quarterback. You take that snap, and your offensive line's wearing those white pants. It looks like CinemaScope.
Yes.
It's like HD TV.
You're rolling on bodies.
You see nothing but white stuff in front of you. You put your head down, and those white back sides get you that first down. That's not hard to figure out.
So now coming up, the 8th play of the Miami drive. This drive began back at their 33. Dolphins have taken another timeout.
And Kevin, we mentioned earlier about them scoring points at the end of the second half, and they're setting themselves up right now. They're in Omari field goal range.
Monday on CBS, an all-new night of America's Best Television. The King of Queens, yes dear, Everybody Loves Raymond, still standing. CSI Miami and The Late Show with David Letterman. Monday here on CBS, America's most watched network. The Dolphins took over at their own 33. And now they're at the 32 of Baltimore. They've got 1 timeout left.
This promo for CSI Miami. Right now, Ray Lucas is doing a little into the half dissection himself.
He's hit 6 consecutive passes. Lucas from the gun. This snap from Tim Ruddy and the pass outside, whistling over the head of running back Ricky Williams.
Well, give Peter Bulware a little love here. It was a nice job by Peter Bulware making that pass rush to disrupt that whole play action and everything else that Miami had going on. And Dave Wanstead knows. He looks at a Peter Bulware. I mean, he's got Rob Burnett, the other defensive end that stood on the other side from Peter Bulware, rushing on his defense.
It's 2nd down and 10 outside the 32. Here comes Bulware. They dump it off to Ricky Williams. One block after another as he picks and pokes his way inside the Baltimore 25, picking up 8 yards, kind of tiptoeing through a minefield.
He's too big to pick and poke. Little running backs pick and poke.
All right, then he was strolling through a minefield.
Well, I shouldn't say that. Franco Harris was a big back, and he kind of ran out of bounds a lot. But Ricky Williams was just navigating his way through the,
I like that better.
the intercoastal waterways by the sideline.
3rd down and 2 at the 24. And again, Lucas in the gun. And Here comes Bulwer again. And there goes Lucas to the safety of the sideline. Chambers was in the vicinity. And incomplete.
Part of that decision-making process we talked about. You know, a lot of quarterbacks would try to force something. Why force something when you've got a guy like Mari standing on the sideline? You know, you've got a guy that can kick from about 50, 55 yards out. This is like a half sand wedge for Mari.
42 yards away. Mare this season is 12 of 16 and will try to extend the Miami lead. This is into the wind. And it is good. And the Dolphins have their biggest lead tonight.
Not only good, it was about 15 feet up into that net. That would have been good from at least 52.
Maybe 62.
I don't know about that.
Tonight on CBS, don't miss the riveting conclusion of Master Spy. Robert Hansen takes even greater risks in an unbelievable chain of events, finally blowing his cover. Oscar winner William Hurt stars in the world premiere movie Master Spy, the Robert Hansen story, tonight on CBS, America's most watched network.
I'm going out on a limb here. I think they catch him tonight.
Yes. But part one last week was terrific.
That was excellent.
Just terrific. Well, the Dolphins come into tonight having lost 3 consecutive games to Buffalo, Green Bay, and last week the Jets. Yet they still shockingly share first place in the AFC East with New England, who tonight will play at Oakland. Buffalo has already lost by a single point at Rockin' Arrowhead in Kansas City. So Buffalo falls to 5-5.
And Kevin, we have to remember these points that were just scored towards the end of this first half here when we get to the second half. Points like this always rear up to kill you if you're a coach. Those points at the end of a half, especially a first half, can always come back and affect your game plan come the second half.
So Miami with the lead. Baltimore comes in with Pittsburgh now going to 5-4-1. A Baltimore win today will put them at 5-5, and that's going to surprise about everybody because everybody picked the Ravens to finish in the cellar of the AFC North.
We talk about that resilience. These guys are just having fun. And maybe they are too young. Maybe they don't know any better, but they are fun to watch.
Come on up, man. There we go.
Mare kicks off. Brightful inside the 5-yard line for Baltimore. A block by Ricario. Finally brought down by Sean Wooden. Plays a mean special teams for Miami. A 28-yard return.
Hey, you want to talk about adjustments, and Baltimore's going to try to adjust going into the half to try to move themselves up to get within that half game of Pittsburgh. But, you know, Baltimore only has 4 first downs, Kevin, in the first half. And Brian Billick knows those four first downs have only gotten his team 68 yards. Wow. Adjustments are the key to this league when you go in at halftime. What kind of team comes out at the half? And the team that comes out for Baltimore has got to put more points and more yards out there.
Blake will go to a knee. That'll take us to halftime, and that's the end of the first half. Miami 17-7. We'll send you to Jim Nance in New York for the next Till Halftime report after these messages.